Ooh, baby. What's going on, guys? Welcome to probably the last actual episode in the rebirth saga of the 31. This is the earliest I've been up in a long time because I haven't been working, and I've been here when Rex has been here on night shifts and stuff. I've been pretty much half days, half nights, pretty much for 2 weeks. So it's starting to sort of finally warm up around here, so I'm going to try and start getting up a bit earlier and actually working through the day and trying to get my sleeping patterns back into something normal. So anyway, about to pack up all these wheels and tyres and take them in and get some tyres fitted. Ooh. Yeah, good one. So we got wheels there, tyres there, steers, rears, and got to go down to the tyre rack and see what else I got. The old tyre and wheel pile. So, what we got here? Got a heap of Rex's shit all on top of my stuff now because he decided to put all this stuff down here as well. Anyway, that's alright. That's alright. This one's actually got a fair bit of tread. That's a Cressy wheels. Cool. Cool beans. Alright, see that? Ooh. 15s. So we've got 2 more brand new 15s there. That might be it. Might be shit out of luck. Might only have 2 more. So as it would turn out, I pretty much only have enough tyres for 1 night session. These Windrun, these Chinese tyres, I've only got 2 pairs. So these are actually really hard, these tyres. They actually lasted, they used to last me about fucking 8 laps. Yeah, just like rock hard, really skatey, rock hard, not much bake, but just used to last forever. So I've probably got about, in 2 sets, I've probably got enough for 1 night, but definitely gonna have to get some more skid tyres ASAP. Thought I had more. Man, I'm gonna have a really good look when I get back because I'm sure I had way more 15s for skid wheels. I don't know where they all are. They've all gone sort of walkabouts. I am using, I suppose, the TI wheels for actual wheels, which is, I suppose, takes away a couple, but yeah, I thought I had like at least another full set of 415s, not just the 2 that I found. So yeah, I'm gonna have to have a bit of a look around when I get back. Not that it matters right now because I don't have tyres to put on them anyway, but I definitely need to find them because only having like 1 extra pair of skid wheels is not going to do it all. So better go have a geezer. Righto, so they're pretty busy down there, so I left them with the young bloke at the tyre shop, and he's going to call me this afternoon when they're done, so hopefully they're done this afternoon so I can get them on this thing and get it a bit better aligned. Might actually even align it with the bigger wheels on it, might be a bit easier having that bit extra. So I might look at doing that. Anyway, either way, for now, I want to get my bride in this thing, I want to get my seat in it, so it's I've got to go get the seat out of the Cressida, and yeah, so better go do that. That's going to be next thing. Look at this thing. Christ. Filthy. There you go. 1 times seat. Nice. Righto guys, I just thought I'd show you what I meant by this seat, even though it's not a very good rep and it's fairly flexy. You can see how high it comes up so that my head actually is on the seat. Also, these shoulder bolsters are actually nice and high. They're not down underneath my armpits like they normally would be. So I sit really low in the seat and the seat comes up high enough at the back, but it still hugs me really well in the sides. It is still a small seat. But yeah, I've yet to find another, or sit in another seat quite like this one. So that's why although it's not a very good quality seat, that's why I've sort of stuck with it for so long. I've just not really been able to find any more. The problem with race seats is obviously they're not really a thing that a lot of places stock or just have around. So it's pretty hard to just go seat shopping or even just looking around to try and find a seat that you actually fit. So what I really need to do as well, this is out, I need to get a heap of measurements off it. because obviously although a lot of places don't stock seats and all that sort of stuff, you can get all the measurements and that off their website. So I need to take some measurements and see. I would like to get some Velo seats because they're Australian made and they're ADR approved and CAMS approved, all that jazz. So that's what I'd like to get. So I want to take some measurements to see if the Velo, was a GPX 90 or whatever, just a sort of base model seat, the one that looks similar to this, is the similar sort of measurements, because I would like to get a pair of them, or a couple of them probably, for a few different cars. But anyway, for now, the seat's gonna do. Did me well for all those last times, so it's going back in. Anyway, it's just a side mount Bride, standard, pretty much Bride rep. But I've sat in a heap of other Bride reps. I've sat in a couple of real Brides. None of them are this sort of size and shape. All of them were a lot more uncomfortable. The bolster was down like at my shoulder blade, which is not nice. I don't like it down there. It's a pain in the ass. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just can't find one the same. So to mount it, I'm just going to be using these antenna brackets. This seat is pretty much the perfect width. Literally all I really need is just some angle off the side mount, and then it bolts straight down to the rails on the standard rails. And it sits really nice and low still, and it's still adjustable. So, like, I really do like this seat setup in the car. I just would like if it was better quality. That's it. Apart from that, I really like it. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Pretty much just going to cut these in half. Obviously cut these little lips off. I'm going to have plenty, try and get 2 bolts on the rail, and then obviously a bolt the front, and then one on the back one, and there's just going to be one of them on each side. These things are super strong. Yeah, just old antenna mounts that we have lying around from communications days. But before that, Matsuri tickets are about to go on sale, so I'm going to sit out here, try and get some phone service, so I can buy myself a ticket to Matsuri. So when I try and tap on Spring Wet Drift Matsuri, it literally just takes me to Friday Night Drift event. This is awesome. This is really good. Good job, Queensland Raceways. Really good job. Alright, we are going to Spring Matsuri. Took a while, but I got there. Man, I've got to say, mountain seats in cars is one of the most frustrating and annoying things ever. Especially on your own with a seat that doesn't stand up on its own, always falls over. It's yeah, a real pain. But anyway, those antenna brackets, the angle wasn't high enough to get me over the rail's got a little adjuster on it. And the L bracket wasn't high enough to get the seat to sit above that adjuster so that it wouldn't fail. So now I'm having to find these other bits of scrap. This is somewhat what I've come up with. Obviously this back one will get another hole in another bolt, and they will have to come through the bottom so that the bolt heads can slide up and down inside the rail. And obviously I'll clean up these mounts around the edges and actually paint them up this time. I did have them last time, I just had, like, yeah, galvanized L brackets and exposed bolts and all sorts of crap, but I'll paint it up so it's a bit nicer this time. But that's more or less what's going to happen. Just going to mirror both those mounts for the other side. I've checked. It's sitting pretty much in the middle. Yeah, it's going to be sweet. It's going to be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'll mirror these 2 brackets, drill some extra holes, paint them up, and mount the seat in there. Also, now that I've got the Bride in there, it's really hard to get in and out without the quick release. But anyway, I don't know. I might end up buying another quick release just because when you got a fixed back bucket seat like this, yeah, as you can imagine, really hard to get in and out because you can't swivel yourself out of this seat. You can't point your legs out the door out of this seat. It doesn't work. It's too deep. So yeah. Yeah, so quick release is very helpful for that. Oh, righto guys. So I vacuumed up all under the seat, cleaned it up real nice so that it's all nice and clean under there. I'm just getting some hardware sorted. I've got some nice big M8 flat washers, some really big ones, which is good. So I'm just getting that stuff ready to go. Rails have been drilled, they're ready to go back in, and I'm just laying down a couple of coats of paint, just engine enamel on these mounts. I decided while I'm at it, I'll paint my little battery retainer hold down mount as well. So probably go one more coat on all these. It's going to be a bit dressier in the car when they're painted black, not like the old ones used to be. Just all gal and exposed. So yeah, I know you guys are probably sick of hearing it, but I'm just stoked with how this car's coming along. Just about everything about the car. Obviously last time I had it, it was all just like thrown together, you know, whatever it'll do. It was like real track car. I had no console, as you've probably seen if you've seen any of my old driving videos. It was just pretty trashy, like all different colors and white gauges on the cluster, and
yeah, no center console, most of the interior was gone, no back seats. Like, the fact that I've gone through the effort to sort of keep it pretty tidy this time and actually have all the interior back in, like once I vacuum and clean this all up, I'm just really stoked with how nice it's come along. The actual car really needs a real bad clean as well. I'll do that today too. It's filthy, but yeah, I'm just just so stoked with this car. But anyway, once I get the seat and everything back together, I'll get it outside. I'll probably give it a bit of a bath, a bit of a wash down. Then I'll put it on the hoist. There's a few things I want to do. As I've been saying for ages, I want to do the alignment, but this coilover seems real stiff to turn and makes some weird noises, so I sort of want to drop it out and have a look and see if there's anything greasable or if something's too tight or what the go is there. Because yeah, when you turn lock to lock, this coilover makes a lot of noise. As you guys know, these are dirt cheap coilovers, China. Just, you get what you pay for. I'm really not expecting too much from them, but it doesn't seem right that that one is doing what it's doing and that one's not. So I want to pull that out and have a look. But yeah, after I do that alignment and the wheels go back on, she's at that point ready to rip, and that's why this is pretty much the last episode of this build thread. I do also, while I'm here, I just want to let you guys know, like, I do understand towards the end of this sort of build thread, especially the production quality has sort of been pretty how you going. I do apologize for that. It's just literally been like the past couple of weeks, which has been the past probably most episodes. Probably the past 9 or 10 episodes have been in the past 2 weeks. And I've just been going like just flat out trying to get it done. So I haven't really been focusing too much on filming or the production quality or trying to do all that really, just because I've been so focused on getting the car done. But now that like the car's done, everything from here is just going to be, I suppose, upgrades, updates, fixing things, that sort of stuff. So I do plan on putting a lot more effort and time into the actual production quality of the videos. So sorry for that, guys. It's just sort of the way it is. I've just been busy as absolutely flat out trying to get this thing finished in time to sort of get drifting. So considering it's the first day of August, which was my goal, and at this point I'm just painting up seat brackets and getting my seat mounted and getting a few things finalised. I think I've done pretty well the past couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. At this point I think I'm just going to leave that ECU in there because the AFRs, it's doing everything good. Rex doesn't need it right now. Obviously his car's not ready to go. So I figure I'll probably leave that ECU in there. I'll have a bit of a play around with it, but I'll just wait when I'll drive it like this until Shane gets back from overseas. When Shane gets back and he can tune it, I'll just get him to tune the other ECU. I'll get him to muck around with it because he knows it a lot better than I do, and I'll probably just stay there with him and peep over his shoulder so I can learn a fair bit about the software and that, because yeah, I'm pretty new to it. So I do really enjoy getting on there and looking around. It's good fun. I like being able to tune. I'm going to enjoy it, but at this point in time I just want to drive it, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now. Out here just jamming to Triple J. I've got the rails mounted in there and vacuumed out the front of the floor there. Also, what I've decided to do with the ECU, because I'm not quite finished with the wiring, but I'm going to leave it temporarily, is I'm just going to put one of these sleeves just over the wiring and just tape it so it's easy to get back off when I want to get at it to change it around. And yeah, I sort of got to decide where I'm going to mount that all. I either will mount it back in the kick panel where it used to be, or I've left enough length on it to maybe run it up the back and into the glove box if I would like to. So I don't know, I haven't particularly decided that yet. It's not a massive deal, but I should at least secure it so it doesn't flap around. Just checked all my lights seem to be working. I just gotta wait for Dad. I'll check the brake lights when he can help me out with that. I've just got a few bulbs to get for the headlights. I've got no high beam bulbs, and one of this low beam bulb was dead, so I put it in this side just because this side's really hard to get at with the battery there. And when I go in to get my tyres, I will get all new headlight bulbs so that I have headlights for Friday night drift, because those are important when you're drifting at night. Anyway, still waiting for this paint to dry off a bit more, so I'm going to go have a coffee while that does happen. Righto, so finally cleaned everything out of the boot. I've finally mounted the back seat properly, so it's all actually back in there now and properly, and I cleaned out the back floor, mounted my Bride. It turned out pretty nice. It's pretty good, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So that's just about the interior, pretty much complete, just except for down there where the ECU is. But I'm very happy with this. I do have a black gear shifter on the way as well, so that'll be black. And I put this shift here, this switch here, it's just empty for now. But I do have plans for that later. But there was a hole there from an old switch, so put a nicer switch in it. So no, pretty happy with that. This is the battery thing all painted up. That's looking pretty good. Put some nice big washers on it too. And yeah, actually fixed up my positive terminal and taped it up because they don't like that. They don't like when it's not actually covered in tape, so that's all good for scrutineering purposes. The other thing is I had a bit of a brain fart and I thought, I've got the Pintara down there. So I went down to Pintara to get some bulbs, which is awesome. So that's got my spare low beam bulb, and I also found, which was lucky I checked, that the high beams, actually, the bulbs that were in these were the right bulbs. They've just got a single prong on the end of them. But I'm assuming whoever had these headlights last was missing this piece. And this is your little double pronged thing for those bulbs. So those were in the Pintara. So lucky I checked there, so I scored them. So I can actually put it back together stock, like in a stock way, which is really cool. So anyway, I'm gonna put these bulbs in, check these headlights, and then if I've got all the lights, we're pretty right. The other thing I noticed when I was getting these bulbs out of the Pintara is the Pintara has the same TPS setup as the Auto Skylines and VLs. So they've got their TPS with the extra plug, which means if I use that TPS, I should be able to actually get a proper TPS reading on this car through the ECU, as opposed to just having an open-close switch. So maybe today, if I feel up to it, I'm gonna rip that TPS off, chuck it on here, rewire the different plug onto it, and try and get the TPS working properly on the ECU. So that'll be cool if I can get that to work. That'll be really handy. Righto, so no wonder whoever had these headlights changed the design of that high beam. What a pain in the ass. Trying to get that thing on the back of the one spade, real pain. Ended up breaking this bulb, pushing it through. Lucky I didn't push it all the way through the headlight, because then I would have had to take the headlight off to get it out, which was just not happening, especially on this side where the battery is. Especially after I've already finalised all the battery and stuff. So yeah, nah. But anyway, I need to get a new high beam for this side bulb, but apart from that, all the lights work, which is cool. So that's rad. It's really nice sort of finalising all these little things. Like the interior is pretty much finished now. All the lights are pretty much working except for that one high beam. Brake lights work, everything works, even the little brake light in the window works. This is the TPS that I pulled off the Pintara. This is what I was talking about. You can see how this one has this little pigtail. Apparently this is the actual correct TPS signal where you can actually get a proper TPS reading, where like the manual ones, as you see here, don't have the little hang down thing, and literally, yeah, that's all these ones are apparently is a switch on and off. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can pretty much wire. Just had a look. The pins in these plugs look like they're the same. They're just orientated differently, but I should be able just to pull them out and hopefully put them in another plug. I'll try with these two first, and as long as it works, hopefully I won't have to do any actual real wiring work, and it should be all good, hopefully. Alright, so I've jerry-rigged that up like so for the time being, and it's pretty cool. Check this out. What's not very cool is how hard this thing is to get in and out of now, but oh, so look at this TPS. Now we've got a gradual increase, which is way better. I still can only get a range of about, yeah, that 32%. So this is as low as I can calibrate it on the Microtech without it, while it still hits 99. And the reason I've decided to do that is because I figure if it's a switch, if it's only a switch, if there's anything on it to do with this tune at all, it's going to be at 99% is where it's going to be, because all it ever used to read was pretty much 1 and 99. So I figure, yeah, if there's anything, if it's going to affect anything on the tune, it would have been done when it was at 99%, because that was when it was at wide open throttle. So that's why I've decided to keep it calibrated so that it does get to that 99%. Whether that's going to matter or not, I don't know, but I figure it's safest to make sure that it is going to do that. So that's pretty cool. At least it has somewhat of a TPS where it actually senses your throttle position instead of being open and closed, which is cool. So I'm going to actually put that plug on them pins and wire it back in and tape it back up. That's the other thing. I had to take a lot of that loom tape off that plug to get them pins out, and I got to say that loom tape is very good in the way that I'm not worried about that loom at all, but it sucks to have to get off. So there's that. But better than it being crap quality. It's definitely very good quality. It was really, really hard to get off that plug. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. Today sort of turned into a day that it wasn't meant to be. It's like already 3 o'clock now. I was not meant to be working on the 31 all day today. I was meant to get started on my Falcon. I've got to put a new diff in it. But it is what it is. This car's really getting finalized. It's really getting finished off, like having a working TPS. That's something that it's never had before. So nonetheless, I'm still pretty happy. It just means I'm gonna have to bust ass tomorrow to do the Falcon. So I've decided I'm pretty much gonna spend the rest of the day on this, just getting it fully ready. I wanna pull it out, give it a wash. I'm still waiting on my tires to come back, but yeah, so I'm just gonna pretty much spend the rest of the day on this thing, just getting it absolutely dialed and finalized. And yeah, then hit the Falcon tomorrow. And then probably Saturday morning have a big shed cleanup and sort out my trailer. Actually, I've got to fix my trailer brakes too, so got a lot of work to do, but I am happy that this thing is really getting finalized and it's not feeling like rushed like I have been the past couple of weeks. It's sort of just nice to be able to tinker around and just really get things sorted, so pretty happy. So I got that plug all wired in, good enough, and yeah, so now I have that TPS, which is cool. Anyway, I just got a call to say my tyres are ready, so I'm gonna go and get my tyres now. We've got lights. We've also got tyres, I just haven't got them out of the car yet, but we've got lights. All right. Finally cleaned up this passenger side footwell. So I ended up just chucking the ECU up in the kick panel there and just zip tied it up there and put the kick panel over it. I didn't actually do anything with the wiring that was exposed. All of it's like well heat shrunken and done properly anyway, so I figure for now, until the ECU gets changed over, I won't bother completely finalising that. It should be fine in there where it is, so now I'm ready to drag it outside and give it a bit of a bath. Well, I've given her a bit of a bath. She looks pretty good on the GTR reps. But man, actually getting up close and giving it a wash, I'm really starting to realise just how much work this car needs to really get it straight again. But not to worry, again, it's a later issue. Not particularly an issue right now. But anyway, I'm about to take this wing off because I figure even if it goes back on, I want to actually tack it up or get it tacked up by someone who can weld alley pretty well and like actually clean it up and paint it before it goes back on and redo the backstays with proper turntable sort of style things so that they're not, basically I want to make it a bit nicer if it goes back on. But I want your opinion while it's out here and sort of getting washed. This is how it looks with the drag wing, and I'll take it off and I'll do another lap and you can tell me what you reckon, whether it should go back on or whether I should just go back to the no wing sort of look. I sort of feel like it's really part of the car now, but let me know what you think. Alright, and we've got wingless, which is weird because this is probably the first time I've seen it without the drag wing in years. This will be the first time anyone's seen it without the drag wing in years. So that's what it looks like without it. It looks super clean without it, but I don't know, I just feel like the car's sort of got its own bit of a personality and the drag wing sort of just belongs on it. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think. It does look clean, but yeah, I don't know. By the time I get air, I'll probably want to put it back on. But either way, the wings were silicone together to the main bit that I folded up, and the silicones come off and they flap around and the whole thing's just rattly, so it needs to come off and get fixed up first. So I run it wingless for a bit. This boot's like completely wrecked, but obviously from where some idiot just went and drilled a drag wing into it. Also where it was sitting under that tree, obviously at Luke's, it's got heaps of tree sap and stuff on it, so I'll have to get into it with some prep and try and get all the tree sap and stuff off and get that sort of seam a bit cleaner. But yeah, I don't know, it's this boot's all wrecked underneath. That's why I didn't really care about drilling in the drag wing and stuff at the time, because it really needs a new boot eventually anyway. But it does look clean. Does look clean. I don't know, maybe the drag wing will suit when I have all the aero and stuff on it, and maybe when it goes back on the street I'll just go completely clean. I will eventually get this car completely repainted and everything, but eventually. I don't know, let me know what you guys think about the wing idea. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know whether to leave it on, leave it off, put it back on. I don't know. Right, we're back on the hoist. So it's this coilover that's being a problem, or something that I want to check out anyway. So I'm going to drop that and have a look at that, and going to change all the wheels over. And then tonight, probably, maybe, I might polish up all the wheels. so that she's all ready to go. Righto, so I've got this coilover apart. I've figured out the culprit, which is the ball joint or the pillow ball on the top on the camber plate. So this little ball is meant to be where all of your movement and your twisting for your turning is meant to happen. On the other one, when I dropped it out, like it is loose as, like it'll hang, flop, it'll turn, it'll do everything it needs to do, as you can see in the top here. It'll turn, it'll do all that, everything's sweet. It's all dandy, but this one is just way too tight. There's nothing, it's just tight as, there's not hardly any movement in it. And the problem is that all of the turning is happening on the actual shaft, which could potentially be a problem. There are a lot of people who have snapped these coilovers, snapped a lot of different coilovers, and I reckon that could probably lead to it if all that turning was happening on the shaft. Eventually it'll weaken it and get pretty sad. But it looks like this little cover is meant to undo, but the material is just way too soft to do anything with it. So I'm just gonna pretty much do what we can. I'm just gonna have to put it back in and just pretty much see and hope it doesn't break. But obviously that's what you get with $300 coilovers. So yeah, might be on the lookout for some better quality coilovers very soon. So I've tried my best to work a fair bit of grease down into it. Doesn't seem to really be working, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Anyway, just gonna have to go back together and go back in the car. And fingers crossed it all works out okay. There we go, guys. It's on its TI wheels with fresh rubber all around. Got my Nankang NS2Rs on the front, which are all balanced, nice, ready to go. Whacked me the old toe strap in. That toe strap is bolted through the Rio and the bracket that actually connects the Rio to the car, so that it's a straight pull. That is the same toe strap through the same bumper hole that it was last time, just that now it's a new Rio because my old Rio is actually on Rex's car. So funny how that works. But yeah, apart from that, got the old Max bung eye alignment. So it's definitely probably going to drive a bit sideways, which is the point because it's a drift car. So it'll be right. Anyway, that's yeah, there's not much left. See what's on this list we can cross off. Lumen ECU can get crossed off because that's not getting changed until tune. Tyres can get crossed off. Alignment can get crossed off. Oh, lock stops, I still got to put those on. I've done the seat, done the toe strap, given it a wash. Still got to polish the wheels, and swap the ECU will happen on tune. So I've got to put the lock stops in. I nearly forgot about those. So that's going to be the actual driving lock. So I'll set them lock stops for just before it starts to rub on the caster and sway bar. I was hoping to sort of get a bit more out of having them 10mm spacers, but obviously that didn't work out. So I've just set it to just before the tie rod hits the control arm. As you can see, there's just a couple of mil clearance there between the control arm and tie rod as it is. And yeah, just before it's going to start being a problem on the trailing wheel as well. So I might have to, I don't know, if anyone who's got really big lock setups in R31s, because I've been looking at going curved caster rod, but it almost seems as though the caster rod and the sway bar are pretty much in the same sort of position or the same plane. So I can't understand how going to a curved caster rod gets you any more lock, because you're just going to end up feeling on the sway bar. So with anyone that's got really big lock setups in these things, like bigger than this, what are you doing with your sway bar? I'm very curious to know. That's information I would like to know very much. Anyway, that's the lock stops done. So pretty much I'm just going to spend tonight. I was meant to start on the Falcons, swapping the diffs out. I'm a bit behind schedule, but I did say earlier in this video, I suppose, that I decided to spend today on the 31. So pretty much all that's left to do really is polish the wheels. And there's a bit of tree wax and stuff on the tree sap, sorry, and stuff on the boot that I want to try and get off with some prep soil. So I'll drop it down and do that, and then I'll probably just polish up these wheels, and that'll probably be my night. As you can see, I've still got a big cleanup to be done. So I'm hoping pretty much tomorrow, I'm hoping to pretty well get the Falcon sorted, and I'm hoping to Saturday then pretty much do a massive cleanup of this place and get it all my crap out of here. So Hopefully that still all works out. Hopefully that diff in the Falcon's not a big job as I think. But anyway, I'm not going to sign the video off just yet. I will sign it off in the morning when the car is in the sun with nice polished wheels. I can show you guys what it actually looks like with some nice polished wheels and some fresh tyres. And I'll take this for a bit of a drive, a bit of a blap up the road before I shut the video out. So that's it for tonight. Well, I'll see you in the morning. So here's some important things that probably should have happened a long time ago, but nonetheless, we got them in there. We got some new stickers, got some Death Click, bit of plugging my own stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Oh yeah, some fresh slaps. Looks good. And for this, I just want to give you an idea of what these wheels look like before polish, and give yourselves, and mostly me, an idea of how good the polishing job is. Alright, it looks about as good as I thought it would, but it takes about twice or 3 times as long as I thought it would also. But anyway, it's probably a bit hard to see in the shed. I don't know how easy that comparison is going to be from before to after, but it is very different. And it's definitely going to show in the sunlight. But wow, what a freaking job. What a painful, long job that is. Alright, so this wheel came out a bit better. To be honest, it was a better conditioned wheel to start with. Still got a bit of polish on it. It's hard to actually wipe it all off. But yeah, I'll give it a good clean up tomorrow. You can see it a bit better in the light over here as well. But it looks really good. But holy crap, is it a lot of work. So that's like a polished one. And that's a dull old crappy one compared to the nice polished one. So that came out a lot better than this side. They still came out both pretty good though. This one really needs a fair bit more work, to be honest. But freaking hell, what a fucking, yeah, what a load of, what a heap of work. So I don't know, that's my 2 steers done. I'm pretty happy with that for now. I'll probably never do the rears because holy crap. I've got to hand it to it though, without sounding like I'm kissing ass too much. This little Ryobi drill, that was 3 batteries, like go. No, it didn't stop, just with the polishing pad on it. 2 wheels, that was probably collectively maybe 2.5 hours. And this thing just went the whole time. Didn't burn out. Yeah, I've got to hand it to it. Say what you will about Ryobi, but that's impressive in my books. I thought for sure I would have burnt that drill out just then. But I just kept going and it never made any funny smells, never did anything weird, and still fine, so sweet. Anyway, I say I'm not going to do the rears, but I'll probably get it into the sun tomorrow and then I'll probably want to do the rears real bad, but that's going to do me for tonight. I'm done, I'm wrecked. Look at all this mess. But you can sort of see from back here, polished versus non-polished. Fair bit of difference. It'll be really different in the sun. Righto, so I just thought before I take the car off the hoist, I'll just do a full nut and bolt check underneath. It's all pretty good. Just still having issues with this one brake line. It's the hydro line to the hard line on this passenger side on the hydro. It was leaking like crazy. What happens is when people undo them wrong with like tube spanners or whatever they use, they're really easy to squish those nuts on the brake lines, on the hard lines. So once you squish the nut fitting on the hard line, it's like impossible to actually get tight into something else again because it's all out of shape. So it's just a pain in the ass, but it's just other people do that. Other people aren't careful enough with them. Anyway, I think I got it tight enough now, I hope so. But anyway, I'll chuck it on the ground, put it outside, take some photos, and then go for a bit of a blap and strap. Yep, it's looking pretty gangster. I'm pretty stoked with it. And it's pretty much, this is pretty much it finished, just about. All it really needs is a tune and change the ECU, and we're done. Oh, and maybe polish the rear wheels too. The bonnet's not quite closed properly, but gang. Woo! Pretty exciting. It's annoying that I have boots on, but anyway, it'll be alright. It'll be okay. So we don't run into any police or the farmer on this private road, I suppose. Although this thing's got plates on it now and it actually looks pretty tidy, so it should be alright. This is my second drive. Ducks. Ducks. This is my second drive. The first drive was sort of all over the road because I had like half delaminated tires on it and all sorts of crap. So hopefully this drive gives me a lot better feel of the car. Keep an eye on the AFRs, see what everything's doing. You turn size. Yeah, she goes pretty well. It's got a bit of a dead spot, like right before you come on boost. There's like a bit of a flat spot, but when it comes on, it's all good. I don't actually know what boost it's running. I haven't changed that gate at all. I haven't put a boost controller or anything in it, so I don't actually know what boost it's running. I've got boost in kVA, but I don't know how to quick change maths that to PSI, so I don't really know how much it means, to be honest. But the alignment's a little bit out, but that's what you get when you got bung eyes. Man, I love this car. AFRs are sweet. AFRs are so good. That tune's fine. Man, that dose is so sick. That rattle's annoying. I'm pretty sure what that is the little dust cover on the back and the output shaft on the gearbox. It's happened before on this car. I ended up just taking that off because it rattled on the tail shaft. I'm pretty sure that's what that noise is. Yeah, we got AFRs at like 10 under load. It's perfect. Oh, my Speedo's back. Look at that, I've got a Speedo. The Speedo just decided to start working. Nice. I'm so stoked with how quiet the exhaust is as well. The exhaust is really nice and quiet. It's like even doing this drive, I shouldn't attract much attention. It's clean looking, it's got plates on it. Just the ridiculous camber is probably all that's going to really give it away. Heater works, got a working heater, which is good, so I got a demister. This is awesome. So happy with this car. Everything's turned out so nice. I really like this interior. I don't know, I've probably said that a million times in the past 2 episodes, but I really am happy with how this interior turned out. It's gonna be so good when I get a black gear shifter. And the dose is just perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. The only thing I wanted to check is if this handbrake actually locks up. Oh yeah, it does. It's alright. We'll be alright. So water's a bit hotter than usual. Oil temp's not too bad. Those are just things I'm gonna have to keep an eye on. I always used to run an oil cooler on this car. I just decided that this time around I'd just see how it went without one, because I never actually had an oil temperature gauge in the car last time. I just decided to put an oil temp an oil cooler in it because I was doing some trap work. So I decided to just, with the oil temp, to just keep an eye on it, and if it does get a bit high, I'll have to go and put another oil cooler on it, which is fine. It's not a big deal at all. And water temp, I'll just have to see how I go with that. It's a bit hard with them thermos with no shroud. They really should have a shroud. But anyway, I'll just have to keep an eye on that on the track. Ooh. So excited to actually track drive this car again. Well, there you have it, guys. That's the 31, the rebirth of the old R31. So honestly, at the start of this whole series, it probably would have made more sense for me to rebuild any other Skyline. You know, to buy just a running auto Skyline and rebuild that would have made more sense than what I did with this. But I am so glad that I decided to persevere and do this shell and actually get my old car back. It's been a lot of fun rebuilding this thing. I've had a lot of fun doing it. I made a lot of really mad friends along the way. Massive shout out to everyone who sent me parts when I needed them and who sold me parts when I needed them. There are way too many of yous to name, but yous all had a very special part in actually getting this car back to where it is now and getting me back to the track and driving. So it's been an awesome trip. Thank you to all who have followed the series and watched. I'm so excited to drive now. I'm so excited. I'm so happy with everything that's come out on this car, the way everything came about. Like, you've got our engine that was pulled out of a skip bin that I rebuilt with $300 worth of parts, literally just new main bearings, reused rod bearings, reused old piston rings. It's got good comp, it goes well, and it idles like, I don't know, RB30 should, as you saw with that 50-cent piece on the rocker cover. The thing just runs sweet as. The hot side is super simple, should be reliable. Hopefully that China turbo does me well like the last ones have. Should be dead reliable. Cut and shut manifold's a bit how you going, but it does the job. It looks amazing in here. I ended up with good injectors out of it. That was the other thing, guys, is after all those issues I did have with my injectors and then having to modify the rail anyway, I'm pretty sure that's all I would have had to do to get the LS1 injectors to work, which was the original plan. But I ended up with better injectors out of it anyway, so I'm not really that mad. So, I mean, the car, even as it sits, is still capable of 300 horsepower plus, just I'm not willing to push that box that hard, and I didn't build the motor for any more than 10 PSI with reused head bolts and just a stock head gasket and stuff, so I'm going to stick to my just 10 PSI. I'm going to leave it the way it is for now, do a few track days, and then when I can finally get it on the dyno, I'll put a boost controller in it and we'll wind it up, make sure it's at 10 pound and see what sort of power it's making. But for running purposes, for all intents and purposes at the moment, this is how it's going to stay. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of work, as they all are. Admittedly, I did misjudge how much work was going to be in it. Again, because I was in my head, I was like, I'll just buy a Skyline and rebuild it out of the parts I got. But obviously it was bare shell. I had like fuel tank, fuel lines, brake lines, everything had to be redone. So yeah, but at the end of the day, literally every single thing on the car, except for this weld here, except for that weld, was done by myself. So that's something that I'm pretty proud of, I suppose. And yeah, I'm super stoked with it. So yeah, big thanks, guys. Big thank you. So it's now arguably a better car than it was before, with more lock. So yeah, apart from having a 25 box and some pretty wheels, which, not saying the TI wheels aren't pretty, but it's not far off where it was when I sold it, and some decent coilovers, but we'll get there. Anyway, from here on, it's just going to be sort of working on it, developing it more, upgrading parts. But as far as the initial rebirth build, this is going to be the end. I know I said this last video, but I wanted to take you guys for a drive in it, seeing as you've spent all this time watching the series. I wanted to see you, make sure you saw it driving. But yeah, it's got dual calipers now, better lock. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so stoked with it, guys. I'm just so happy. I'm going to babble for a while. But yeah, stoked I made that S13 cross brace, strap brace work. That was a cool little experiment. There are a lot of other cool little experiments that worked out and some that didn't, but at the end of the day, the car's finished and it is what it is. And yeah, I'm wrapped, guys. So big cheers for watching, guys. Big thank you to all who have been following this series. As far as content from here goes, hopefully just a lot more driving and still obviously working on a lot of cars. As far as build content goes, I have another video that I'll release after this one about probably what's going to be coming next for me personally building. Rex has got stuff he wants to do, so there will be more build stuff happening very soon. But yeah, for now I just really want to get driving. I'm going to be busy at work after this. This is like my last sort of free week for a little while, so I'm going to be pretty busy at work, so content might slow down a bit, but it's still going to be coming at you guys. So big thanks again for watching, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, or what you think I should change or anything like that. I'm always happy to hear from you guys. And yeah, I will see you on the next video, which again will be very soon. So thanks guys, I'll catch you later. There will actually be another R31 video pretty soon as well. Again, like I was saying in the last episode, I watched Taylor A's sort of documentary on his Miata, his MX-5, and like sort of how it came to be, all that sort of stuff. Pretty inspired by it. And given now that this car, there's so many hands involved in this car getting it to where it was, the history of the car, how I got it in the first place, and then how I got it back. So I will do another video pretty much explaining all of that, just for those who have probably subscribed since I started rebuilding this car and probably don't know. So that will be coming out very soon as well. But anyway, keep peeled for that, and I'll see you next time. Cheers guys.